I think on song ending is as good a time as any to cut to the game. Guys, welcome back to GESC NA Qualifiers. Got game 2 between OpTic and DC on the way. And Digital Chaos, though not working with their full official squad, Moon is AWOL, Flea standing in. They're still doing a pretty good job against OpTic. It doesn't really hurt that Bryle just went off in the last game. One of the most dominant DP performances we've seen as OpTic just simply did not have enough damage, nor any aggressive moves to actually really touch her. Again, with only a Chen being your roamer, and with a Coddle not really being able to help out that much, like there's only so much you could do versus a Death Prophet. So DC are going to ride that all the way to a Game 1 victory. This is just the first match in a double elimination bracket, though, so losing this one, even if OpTic dropped out 0-2, not the end of the world. They can still come back in and still qualify here for GESC. So stakes are fairly low in this match, but still, the Dota has been fairly good so far. This ban phase, we could see OpTic actually do have a little bit of extra time this time around, so you know, I want to say that OpTic ended up with a pretty decent draft, even though they only had 20 seconds of reserve time because they were late. But, you know what? It's hard to tell. I'm sure PPD is not really too happy about that situation. As a captain, like, you need that time to figure out all of your options. I am definitely not a captain. So, you know, that's going to be something to take home, is that I don't really know how much it impacts your draft. I gotta assume it's a lot, but I don't know exactly how much. The Chen will be banned out this time around. Omni, Tiny. I think Omni was actually not picked, or definitely not picked, but he wasn't banned by the end of the draft phase in the last game, but still in the pool here. We'll see what DC want to grab. They themselves have banned out the DP, despite having that first pick. They could still go for like a Tusk, Witch Doctor. AA this time is still banned out. But again, it looks like we have a lot of super powerful heroes. ET is in the pool as well. That is definitely not an ET, though. It's going to be a Razor first pick, so it's essentially a ban out of a potential Omni Knight, and to some extent the Abaddon from OpTic. I've been on record of being a very anti-Razor kind of person, but like Razor as a first pick just makes your draft so much easier. Again, like it just immediately eliminates certain heroes from the pool from OpTic, else they just have a completely screwed up time. And I don't think that the Razor is like huge in the game outside of the laning phase, but in the laning phase, he's an absolute monster. Let's see what OpTic want to do to try to counteract this. They'll go with the ET as the first pick. Why? Well, because he's in the pool, that's why. And along with that Bane, that's a support duo from OpTic, sealed up right away. Decent heroes to have versus the Razor, and to some extent, DC would have also loved to have someone like that Bane. Although I do like the Witch Doctor a little bit more than the Bane up against Razor. They both get the job done very effectively.
5 seconds remaining.
Being able to just straight Nightmare the Razor and disengage away from that static link is incredibly important. And with that Elder Titan, you set yourself up with some really aggressive potential early on. Maybe not necessarily versus that Razor, but for sure versus anyone else that DC might be picking up in the core capacity. At the same time, this is going to pick up two of the probably most dominant supports in the game, with Witch Doctor being a close runner-up there. Not to mention the heroes that are already banned out. Those are, of course, pretty powerful. But, yeah, the Witch Doctor is going to be picked up from DC, if for no other reason than Stan King was killing on the hero in the last game. Is probably going to have a little bit of a weaker setup this time. Cask with Razor isn't bad, but, you know, it's something. If you get some good lucky bounces, you can get some static link damage, it could definitely work out. Yeah, especially when you're going up against a Bane and an ET. As either of those two heroes, you don't want to press any of your buttons once the Witch Doctor Cask is out. Because, you know, Bane could use Brain Sap, I guess, but your grip is kind of just a dead spell while the Cask is bouncing around. You don't want to risk that. Same thing for the ET. A very combo-based hero. Needs to get that spirit out, needs to position it, needs to stomp in exactly that order. If you can't do that because of, say, a Cask that's bouncing around might interrupt your stomp, then you're really sad. So DC have a pretty premium support hero of their own. Tusk, that 4 position, gonna get nailed out though. We've seen a handful of teams still go for Earth Spirit, although not as many teams are really high on that hero. Still, I would say he's perfectly viable. Also looking at potentially a Rubik for the DC side. Really powerful hero with that Razor. Another great hero to just have a very quick disable to get rid of a Bane Grip or an ET Stomp. So definitely possibilities here for the DC side. Also DC known to run a little bit more Enchantress than some other teams. Gotta keep an eye out for her. She could definitely show up. And it's really like you pick Enchantress up against teams with not much burst damage. Bane ET is quite a bit, so maybe it's not this game, but you know, it's always possible. DC will take out that Bat Rider. Usually not really super indicative of anything, and right now OpTic are deciding on Terrorblade. Terrorblade pick for DC will mean that the Razor is going to go towards mid, more than likely. It seems to be like, from the games that I've seen from OpTic, just something that they do. I feel like every single time in the second ban phase, if the heroes are not picked up by then, it's always just ban Tusk, ban TB. That's what they did last game. That's what they did in the last match I saw them in. It'll be a Pugna instead banned out. Interesting. I think this is one of those things where they make that play because of scrims. Because they've played them in the past and they've seen it. Now, obviously, I don't know everything that DC have done in the past. But this is definitely, I'm getting the feeling that's one of those things that PPD saw them, played against this strat, and he's like, nah, man, it's too good. Maybe Pugna's like the wheel in that cog with some other hero that I'm not thinking of right now. But the TB will eventually be banned out nonetheless. So getting rid of that problem hero. Razor Witch Doctor are only okay at dealing with a Terrorblade. You need like heavy magic damage if you're going to deal with them. And Razor's magic damage, Witch Doctor's magic damage is not exactly ideal. So what do OpTic want to grab right now? Still looking for... I wasn't going to say a Venomancer. But actually, it's not that bad. I'm not a huge fan of this hero. I feel like more often than not, he just dies for free and then doesn't do anything. You're looking at now for DC heroes that kind of want to get this extra magic resistance up. A hero that's more than willing to pick up a pipe. That's what they want. But OpTic do have a lot of magic damage. A lot of magic damage coming out from this Venomancer, amped up by the Elder Titan. It's not an irrelevant combo. And having these slows to disengage... the slow for the Elder Titan setup in lane is very potent. It does give OpTic a couple of really nice options. Is a hero that Razor can link up for that damage gain, but taking out the damage from Venomancer isn't really going to be the biggest thing in the world. There are some heroes that if they get static linked, man, they are just so sad. Venomancer is not really one of them. You can still press your ultimate button pretty easily, even though you may be linked up. We'll see what this Venomancer is actually going to do. If it's just going to be a damaging hero, or if it's actually going to be used for a little bit more pushing action for those wards. They might just give it to CCNC, throw him towards the mid lane with the Venomancer. It seems like that's usually what OpTic do with CCNC in general. Just like give him a hero that is going to always do kind of okay, but not really be super dominant, and then have him play kind of a budget role. Kind of a feels bad man moment for any hero that he's playing on, but it seems to work out for OpTic more often than not. Get 33 and Pycat, those really heavy hitting heroes, and to some extent Zai as well from the support role. Not necessarily in this game, but in general, it seems like that's kind of the OpTic MO.
10 seconds remaining.
The Venomancer is definitely a hero that can do decently in the lane. Very rarely is he going to dominate lanes, but he's solid. He's solid, and even if you do fall behind a couple deaths, something like that, you could still do more or less your job. For DC, though, they'll grab the Clockwork, the classic Clock Witch Doctor combo. And Shadow Fiend will be picked up for OpTic, so there's a non-zero chance that we see some lanes shuffled up here, but now it's looking more and more like a 33 Venomancer and a mid Shadow Fiend for the OpTic side. This pick is also going to eliminate that as an option, so that DC can't get their hands on the Clockwork SF duo, which is certainly a threat. But honestly, if I'm DC and I'm working with Clockwork Witch Doctor as my supports, I'm kind of happy with that already. It's definitely enough gap closing. It's a lot of stun duration and a decent amount of teamfight utility in that as well. With the Razor being able to pour in damage thanks to that barrier provided to him by the Clockwork, it certainly could be a lot worse. I don't know if they were gunning for that Shadow Fiend or not. It looked like that was certainly a possibility. But now that they can't get it, I'm sure they'll be okay with that. I mean, you're looking at a Shadow Fiend as a hero to gank in the mid lane. Clockwork, he will struggle to do that by himself. with the Witch Doctor joining him from time to time, or if there is a mid-hero that has any sort of slow or CC at all, you could definitely set up for Shadow Fiend kills. Like a Viper, like just hit him once the poison attack, let the Clockwork come in from behind. Should be easy kills, because Shadow Fiend is absolutely paper. Although SF, Bane, SF, ET, that is a very dangerous lane for whoever's going to be going up against that for DC. And then Viper might be picked up here. That's not a Viper, that's a Sniper. I'm a poet and I don't even realize that I am one. But yeah, I mean, just looking at this magic damage output from OpTic, you're looking at a lot of it, like a hell of a lot of it. So getting magic resistance is going to be really important. Sniper, though, isn't really one who gets magic resistance. This is another way of trying to play around this strat from OpTic. It's noting that OpTic do not have a Clockwork type hero of their own. Their initiation is pretty much nil. So the Sniper is going to dodge all that magic damage by just simply being too far away. Hopefully for his sake, the Clockwork will take all the damage. The Razor probably is going to end up getting at least a cloak, maybe even a hood. He'll take a little bit of damage in the front line as well, and the Sniper is able to clean up from the back. It's going to be really difficult for OpTic to get on top of that Sniper unless they get a really, really good angle on him. So this isn't really like the tankiest option here for DC. If they get on top of the Sniper for whatever reason, a good angle, then the Sniper is just dead. Like, there's nothing you can do about that, you're screwed. But if he's able to stay in the back line, then he could certainly put an absolute beating onto OpTic's heroes. The Abaddon is going to be taken out. DC still looking for that Flea hero. Standing in for Moon again, guys. Just standing in for right now. I don't think there's been any official changes or anything like that. It's going to be, what are we looking at here for Flea? Maybe an Underlord? I actually don't mind an Underlord here at all. That pit is going to be really nice. It's a hero that, even though you're not getting a lot of use out of the Atrophy Aura, you're going to have a hero that's more than happy to build up a pipe. That, oh, Omnight's still in? Okay. You know, it's one of those heroes where it's like, it's 5th pick. You know, we'll just pretend he's not in. But no, Omnight's in. Okay, so, you know, speaking of heroes that are good up against magic damage, I hear Repel is a pretty good counter. Of course, it's still going to be the grip. You still have to deal with a lot of right clicks from the SF. But Omni Knight, as far as protecting the Razor, as far as enabling the Razor, and to some extent enabling the Clockwork as well, an absolute all-star pick, OpTic. Again, do have some answers to that Omni Knight. In lane, Bane is one of the best heroes, period. But he is going to be, you know, maybe struggling to deal with that Omni Knight pick, depending on what his last pick is for OpTic, and it's going to be a Faceless Void. I like that quite a bit from the OpTic side, for no other reason than it's a hero that can get on top of the Sniper from the core role. And who else are you looking at in that capacity? You're looking at, like, PA. You really don't want to play PA up against Razor, man. That is so miserable. Like, PA can do it. Anti-Mage isn't a hero anymore, so that's not really relevant. Like a Weaver? Weaver would have actually been pretty cool. Sorry, guys. There's, like, some faucets or something going on. I don't know if you could hear that. It's a little bit loud for me, so I'm going to maybe try to talk up a little bit. But Faceless Void is a hero that can actually just bypass all of this from DC. Get on top of the Sniper, and he also has a ET combo. He has a Shadow Fiend combo. Maybe not like the best combos in the game, but they still hit really, really hard, even if your Shadow Fiend isn't in the perfect position. So this pick from OpTic is going to get them a little bit of ease of execution. Some initiation out of the safe lane is not something that's super common, but is something the Faceless Void will give them. The potential downside of this is that you'll have to have this Bane, sometimes even this Elder Titan, babysit that Faceless Void a lot. Because if he's going up against the Omni Knight, or if he's going up against that Razor, then either way, it's not fun times for the Faceless Void. The weakness of Void has always been, he's really soft in the lane. Pretty easy just to harass and deal with. You can heal up sometimes. But the Omni Knight is going to have much more staying power, as will the Razor. Like, even if you time walk away from the Razor, you're still working as a melee hero up against a range hero. So that's probably going to be the lane that he's kind of hoping for. But up against the Omni Knight, he'll be able to get CS for sure. Will, in general, just be slowly ticked down because Flea can trade a lot more effectively as the Omni Knight than Pycat can on the Faceless Void. I do really like this last pick, though, from OpTic. I feel like despite those risks, his contributions as far as initiation and team fighting is concerned is well worth it. He's also a hero that kind of just says, screw you to Clockwork. As Clockwork, you could burn the Faceless Void's mana, Time Walk is not like super expensive. You can see 40 mana out of 280. He gets quite a few of them. He does have the Mango as well, but yeah, if you're calling the cogs, jump over him. No big deal. Here we go. Dude, I thought it was the classic South American pause. Seems like NA is learning a couple things here. Got long-ass pauses in both these games. Yeah, Ritsu just laying down some obs. And no, we're not going yet. Not going yet. 33 is going to be on the Venomancer. Again, I'm not huge on this hero. You are working up against an Omni Knight, so that's never fun. But you can definitely in this game, especially combo with an ET, have a really clean setup. I don't know. I feel like the Venomancer is going to have like really good games or really bad games. And I feel like there's just not much middle ground there. It's like if the Venomancer gets ahead, he'll do so much damage. He'll just destroy your team. And like you pop that Poison Nova and then like everyone from DC, they have no other choice than to leave. Like they have to back out of that. Other games, it's like he pops the Poison Nova, he dies, and then his team dies, and then Poison Nova doesn't do anything at the end. It's just such a huge swing as to what Venomancer can actually contribute, at least from what I've seen. Kit Track Bible Thumb. Complexity Kit Track? He was playing on Complexity yesterday. And Complexity is playing in the next series of the day. I don't know if we're going to have a rolling schedule, guys. The admin said maybe. But yeah, they're going to be playing Complexity versus VGJ Storm. We're actually looking really, really good right now. So Complexity off of their little bit of a Kyle reshuffle. I don't know. Might be a little bit tough for them. They can definitely win. They definitely are good enough to win. But, I don't know. It's going to kind of depend on how VGJ Storm are feeling, I guess, at this point. This is an uncontested sniper. Not quite. It's going to be a pretty clean sniper game, though. I mean, Pycat's the only real answer. As far as, like, games to be sniper, though, this is definitely one of the better ones. And Bryle just went nuts out of control last game, so I'm sure he's feeling himself right now. He will be able to you know, have a pretty clean time here. I guess you could like harass with Bane. ET ganking the mid lane though is really awkward. At least needs level 2, so we won't be able to do much until then. But if you do get the stomp onto the sniper, you land at least 2 raises guaranteed. And at that point, sniper is usually just dead. So there's that. That is, of course, if you're able to land that spirit. Sniper is not exactly known for his movement speed, 289. Not exactly super speedy. I mean, just look at this guy. He's got short legs, holding a gigantic gun the size of him. So it's like, you know, you can't expect to be fast at that point.
I'll dig that.
He'll be going towards the mid lane. CCNC should be playing the Shadow Fiend, and he is. And this is going to be a nice little start for the sniper, who usually is going to start kind of on the back foot, simply because his base damage is crap. But the Shadow Fiend's base damage is also crap, so, you know, no one's hitting anyone for anything in this mid lane. And Bryle has a massive advantage in the attack projectile department. Like, Sniper's got the best projectile in the game. He also doesn't have any damage, though, because there's going to be a Bane camping his lane with the minus damage from Enfeeble. So he's at 20 damage. We do have Stan King getting CS. He's getting denies. He's on top of the last hit chart. What a god. And they're just making sure that CCNC doesn't get souls. Like, if Bryle doesn't get CS, whatever. That's fine. It happens. But as long as CCNC doesn't get a lot of souls, then they could kind of weather this storm. Because Bane, you can see at this point, already very low on mana, has to chug down that clarity in order to continue this harassment. They're keeping the sniper down for right now, as to be expected. But, you know, Bryle will eventually be able to get some CS. And in the meantime, no, Stan King's cashing in, dude. The Witch Doctor's having the time of his life. That feels bad, though. You hit a creep with 2 heroes and you still can't get the last hit because you don't have any damage. This is the Bane and his early game investment. His clarities are still chugging. Bryle still hitting for nothing. He's 2-2, though. I mean, that's not impressive or anything like that, but considering the circumstances, that is rather impressive, I would say. Like, he's going up against a really tough set of heroes with no damage. 33 is going to get caught with the battery assault. AY has got to take it away. 33 does dig his way out of here, but gets bumped back on the way out. Stomp coming in as the repel will be there. Omni Knight will be fine. Gale doesn't exactly do a lot of damage. But this is a pretty deadly duo versus a Venomancer. Again, Venomancer is super, super slow. He's balanced around, his movement speed at least is balanced around that Gale. So his clockwork, if you're able to just walk in, close the distance, get the kill, you can, or maybe not get the kill, but you can very easily land the cogs on Venomancer. At that point, you do a lot of easy damage, if not get the kill with the Purification. Like this right here, 33, he has no way of getting out of this. He's just going to have to try to run. He's going to put up a tree and block AUI out. That might actually save his bacon, and it will. Great play from this Venomancer, but still, he's out of mana. He's running low on restoratives. So even though that wasn't a kill, I'm sure DC otherwise would have gotten the kill. That is still going to be them winning these damage exchanges because Flea is still an Omni Knight who's very healthy with a deep mana pool, who could just run at Zai, run at 33, and usually just be completely safe in doing so. Having this dual lane in the mid lane and in the top lane isn't really costing them a lot, although CCNC, wow, lands a total of 4 raises over in the mid lane onto these 2 heroes. That is some super cost-effective damage. Razor just being Razor doesn't really need a lot of help. He's going to take a lot of damage out from an illusion, however, so Pycat's still hitting pretty hard, as is PPD. Will not be able to seal the deal on this Razor, however. Oh, Raise into Bryle. CCNC starting to feel himself just a little bit. Does have the souls, and Bryle, as to be expected, is slightly behind in this lane. Gotta watch out for those raises. Again, 291 movement speed up against 316. Not a huge difference. When you're talking about getting close enough to land raises, it is just enough for the Shadow Fiend to do what he needs to do. As of right now, CS is actually looking pretty even. Slight lead for OpTic, but not really anything to write home about. This is definitely a problem in the top lane. I feel like it's a matter of time before AUI does something like this. He's going to have a few Purification onto 2. Cog bump back onto Zai and 33. Well, they will both slip away. But again, that doesn't really cost them anything. Like, the Omni Knight still has a lot of mana. AUI barely costs any mana on him. And they definitely win that damage trade yet again. Keeping this Venomancer down, that's 15 CS for Flea. Only 9 here for 33. This is at the full dual lane as well. Zai is not really doing anything else to help or pressure these other lanes.
Double damage.
Dude, PPD. What an annoying hero. Like, oh, you want a last hit? Well, it would be a shame if you had literally 0 damage. It'll be a real shame if that was to happen. The Razor can get some damage because of Link, but up against Faceless Void, the Link is not as effective as certain other heroes. Even if stanking was there, like, even if Cass gets like a million bounces, I'm not sure you get that kill very easily. You will in some situations, but not all of them. This is what they're looking for over in mid lane. Bryle. Okay, that if he got hit with that stomp, that would have been what they were looking for in the mid lane. Land a stomp, land a couple raises. If that's not a dead sniper, and it won't be because he has the raindrop, it's still a lot of easy damage. Now they're looking for a rotation onto CCNC, actually. He does not know that there is a Witch Doctor approaching from the south. Shrapnel number 1 with the cask bouncing. It landed on him, but you know, the shrapnel is a little bit too defensively placed there from Bryle. So CCNC is going to live, at least for right now. Still, this mid lane is swarming with enemies for him, so he's got to be really careful here. At the same time, if you're going to approach onto a Shadow Fiend, you got to be careful on your on how you do that. Oh, Ritsu on bottom lane. Again, hit with that Enfeeble. Has some damage now in PPD. It's about all he can do. He can be annoying, but he can't really get these kills because he just has no brain sap. Stomp lands onto only this Clockwork, but the Maldic lands there with the Purification. Feel the power of pure damage. AUI is going to swoop right in with the right clicks, grab the first blood onto 33, and that's going to be this lane taking off in full. Now, we've seen time and time again Omni Knights in just any situation have a mediocre to great start, and I would definitely classify this game as a great start. And then they get you know, a couple of these big items. They get Phase, sometimes they get Drums, sometimes they get Yules, sometimes they get Radiance. But it's very frequent, I feel, that Omni Knights will kind of have this lull where they are really powerful right now, but then they'll take a little bit of a pause in what they do in order to get those big items up. That's something that Flea has to be very conscious of. He's got to keep applying that pressure. Zai's going to try for the stomps. Cask is going to land. Flea Still with that phase boot damage. Gonna be charged out by Zai, but AUI's here as well. And Flea's another purification. Zai's getting chunked down really heavily right now. With a flare to give them some extra vision, Flea sees the coast is clear. Phasing right in. Zai, he doesn't have any way of chopping down these trees. Stomp will still land on the Omni Knight. Actually, 33 is the way of chopping the trees, so they'll get even further away from their tower. Pycat is here, but with no Chronosphere. Zai is still alive. Purification hits Pycat pretty hard here. Gonna time walk forward onto AUI, still taking a lot of damage. Cast bounce through, back onto the Face Void, and onto the Venomancer as well. Pycat, he used this time walk offensively, so he doesn't have to get out of here. He's gonna go down here. Oh no. Alright, so Omni Knight Clockwork. Yeah, I mean, I mentioned earlier how that's a combo. I was not expecting it to be this effective this early on, but goddamn is it working. And that rotation from the level 4 at the time Faceless Void, is that really what you want to be doing? I mean, Bane can't really help out. Again, he like has Enfeeble, but if you Enfeeble an Omni Knight, like, yeah, he's not doing any damage, but he's still purifying. If you Enfeeble a Clockwork, he's still not doing any damage, but he's still using Battery Assault. So, like, who's gonna make that rotation? I'm not sure if Pycat was the answer there. The level 6 Faceless Void, yeah, go in and do that. Level 5 Faceless Void is a lot weaker though, so DC kind of get a free one there. It takes them a really long time, but ultimately we do have Omni Knight feeling himself enough to go for the phase drum build. Again, this build of I'm going to just run at you while being invulnerable. And I mentioned earlier, these Venomancer games, they typically tend to be very hit or very miss. And it looks like it might be the latter in this here game too. 33 is going to start getting a couple of Plague Wards. You can jungle pretty rapidly as Venomancer, but you never really want to be doing that. You'd rather be getting lane farm. At least over in the mid lane, CCNC is still doing great up against this Sniper. At this point, Sniper doesn't have to worry about the Bane any longer, but you know, CCNC is under no pressure. He's got maxed out raises, so even if he goes down, he'll be able to refill his soul count really quickly. This top lane is a gigantic problem for OpTic. Bottom lane, I would say Ritsu, up against this duo of Bane Faceless Void, is doing reasonably well. Like, it's really hard to play Razor when you have literal 0 damage, but still remaining fairly competitive in the CS department and net worth overall. He's going to be going for a Hood first. Got to note that magic damage for OpTic. So I like this decision for the Razor. Probably not Pipe first. Maybe Hood, something stat heavy, maybe like Hood Drums or Hood SNY and then the Pipe. Chronosphere. Drop that in nowhere. CCNC lands 1 raise, 2 raise. Doesn't even need the 3rd raise. Easy kill onto Ritsu with that Chronosphere setup, and PPD even arrived a little bit too late there to contribute anything. They're still hunting for 33 now. All these wards, though, making it really difficult for AUI to get a good angle. He is going to steal the big Satyr, though. That's not bad at all. This bottom lane is going to be heavily pushed. Sand King. Yeah, it's time to get out of there, bro. You can't really do much about this. 33 is getting pushed out of his safe lane as well. Safe lane is in quotation marks, air quotations, because it's not really safe. Oh, the grip is up. It's getting caught part of your plan. It's going to go down to 3 shots from CCNC. Ritsu's back in the lane. He will take down that free Witch Doctor support, and that's a level 6 Bane on the field already. That is a remarkably high level for that hero. Level 4, level 5 on the other side of things. That's just a pure dual lane Bane, actually. Like, he duo laned the mid lane for a little while, then went down to bottom lane, duoed that. So you expect to get a lot of experience on this hero. A high level Bane can do a lot of damage. And of course, get those free picks with the gigantic channel of the Fiend's Grip. Tower will be brought down, though, in favor of DC. Still, this start is about as even as you could ask for. Assassinate is up on the Sniper, but they're just waiting for this, actually. AUI's got the hookshot. Link goes off on CCNC, lands a couple raises onto Ritsu, and the hookshot misses! Oh, that is not what you want, but AUI still fast enough to get in there with the Battery Assault. Catches Zai with the slows. The Nightmare goes off onto the Razor, but I think still with this Battery Assault should be enough to get the kill. It would have been, if not for the kill steal from Bryle. But a kill's a kill. Not really what they wanted. They definitely wanted that Shadow Fiend. We can see Ritsu trying to leverage that Hood as aggressively as possible. Pops the barrier, absorbs those first couple of raises. Still takes a little bit of damage, but now we got AUI in the side. You can very quickly just bust out of these trees, get behind, use some cog, ideally to push heroes down. got a lot of potential here. Although the Razor, Purification, only one's going to land. Now CCNC is put into a cage. He's linked up, plasma fielded, and dropped to the cogs. All sorts of electricity in this bottom lane, killing off that Shadow Fiend. This is going to give 33 a lot of valuable recovery time to get that Force Staff, but this is DC kind of freely pushing this bottom lane, freely getting kills as well. Hookshot is actually up in just a few seconds as well. Purification afterwards, that's a lot of burst damage on someone like PPD, who's spotted now. And full vision is there. Nightmare, it's going to be in time. Flea's got him, though, with the degen. And Hookshot, just short blink forward. And PPD is pretty screwed here. He'll try his best. Assassinate does start. But the tower will be brought down, and ultimately DC pick up 2 kills along the way. Pycat not involved in that in the least. Still just trying to get a couple of those base items. That has Aquila, has the power treads working towards that madness. First hit bash on the Flea, all calculated. He's just making sure that Pycat is struggling to get out of here, just messing with them. Flea has drums and phase, and then Yules. This hero is going to be blisteringly fast once he completes this setup. Hell, if he phases and drums, he's already easily the fastest hero on the map. And pretty difficult to kill as well, I would say. Bryle just going to be slow sieging this tower. And by slow sieging, I do mean slowly sieging. He's got the Ring of Aquila turned on, but right now this sniper doesn't really hit all that hard. Nor does he hit all that fast. AUI finds PPD. And looks like he wasn't quite prepared for that. He's got another hook shot right about now. And with an Omni Knight having so much farm, with a Razor and Sniper on your team, you kind of just want to allow the Sniper to farm until he gets that Maelstrom. You don't really want to have him involved in these fights in a huge degree. You definitely want to get this Razor fighting. Like, you go for a Hood first. This is not a stat item. This is not a hero that a drum or a phase or anything like that. This is just a pure tanky item. So you want to get in as many fights as possible. Flea, there's a grip with his name on it. Put to sleep. Oh, are you kidding? I'm sure PPD is not too happy about that. Although the Shadow Fiend is still out of vision range. He does have a Dragonlance first item. So there's going to be a grip and a brain sap. And that will, of course, land 3 raises. I'm pretty sure this Omni Knight is dead. Now, what can they do elsewhere? Yeah, he's way too far away from TP support also. It's just a high-level Bane showing off what he can do. Oh, at this point, Clockwork is just a little bit higher. They're going to try to make a trade on the bottom lane, but there's no one actually here. So, yeah, it looks like it might just be a free pickup here for OpTic. Lots of heroes rotating down towards the bottom lane. Leveraging the Razor in any capacity, that's what DC really want. Got a Void Stone as an inventory. Is it Yule Scepter for the Razor? Defensively, that's quite nice. Stat line wise, that's not ideal. And let's see, here we go. Rip. 1, 2. Do I see 3? 3. Pycat jumps in from some experience. And they've actually caught Zion a little bit of a corner here. Pass and Maledict. Yeah, he's super dead, man. Maledict is just lethal. Or the boom headshot. Oh, he gets the bounty rune, though. He gets the bounty rune before he dies. So it's the best you could hope for there. Is that the hammer? Not yet. Meantime, AUI catches 2 with the hook shot. And Pycat's forced to drop the Chronosphere, keep the Razor out of play. And now able to focus down. Oh, the Nightmare dodges that last raise. AUI still going to go down, though Ritsu on the chase. One more Plasma Fields should be lethal damage. I think it's just in range. No, it's just short. He's too slow. This Razor has regular boots, and PPD gets out of there. Oh, no. They will find 33 in the middle of frickin' nowhere. What the hell happened here? But the Razor fails to get any kills there, and they will lose AUI. But to gain 33 off of that, man, that's kind of worth it. He's going to try to defend this tower. Hammer's still not up on the sniper, but you know, chipping out this tower. We'll get there eventually. Top lane, in the meantime, being set up. Ritsu, really difficult hero to kill because he has that pipe, or the barrier from the hood, rather. Takes 1 raise, and that's about it. Pycat has no Chronosphere. Over in the mid lane, in the meantime, Nightmare goes off to the Omni Knight. Really wants to cast something on himself right now. Here comes the Earth Splitter. Needs to Purify. Will do so. Repel as well. And with the run out, he will be A-okay. Death Ward now being challenged to drive everyone back. Some nice cost-effective damage there from the Witch Doctor. Can't really expect much more. But that was a big setup, and a lot of heroes rotating in towards the mid lane for OpTic to ultimately gain not that much. Pull out a little bit of mana, pull out a little bit of HP, but that's about it. And now everyone and their mom is rotating over towards this mid lane. AUI, though, sitting right under a dire obs. Really hard to land a decent hook shot from that angle. Especially since they don't have any vision of their own. Like, they've got to just flare for vision. Spirit constantly pushing forward, threatening them, and hookshot is going to go in onto Zai. AUI is by himself right now. There's Straddle to Assassinate. They got the kill in the bag. Assassinate not even needed. They'll take down the tower as well.
Time is money.
I feel like that probably shouldn't have happened considering the obs that AUI was standing under, but losing an ET there is not the end of the world for OpTic. Losing that tower, though, is going to be pretty costly. Phase Boots, Lightning Hammer, Maelstrom almost up for the Sniper. And now Razor has a little bit of extra movement speed as well with those Phase of his own. So DC, they're just absolutely ready to start running at OpTic. And OpTic, they have to work around this Chronosphere. Really powerful ability to be sure, but this cooldown is prohibitively long. Especially since last time he was forced to use it purely defensively just to keep Ritsu out of the fight. And DC have to be careful. It's really difficult to push in this game as DC. Even if they get a handful of good fights, let's say push this lead up to 5k. You're going up against Chronosphere, you're going up against maxed out Plague Wards. Elder Titan is so annoying with his constant threat of Stomp. Unless DC get the element of surprise with like a smoke or a hook shot, a very long range hook shot, then it'll be kind of difficult for them to get kills in this game. Or to that's not true. It'll be difficult for them to push with the intent of taking objectives without first getting some easy picks. And those picks are going to be not that easy. More pausing, please. Love this. Vessels coming up on the clockwork. Post-fight healing. Definitely do quite a bit here. UI has already got the 2 charges. A little bit of a rotation here. Zai is leading with Pycat right behind him with that Chronosphere.
Radiant are scanning.
And so they will see... Oh, Stanking's a blow. It. Hookshot immediately goes off onto the Bane. Cask is bouncing through. The Earth Splitter comes out, but Pycat has got a bail. Loses all of his damage. Gets stunned by something as well. And now again, Chronosphereing defensively. That kind of happenstance movement there from the Witch Doctor, seeing that Bane, ends up killing him off. And that is going to completely blow the gig there from OpTic because of the power of that paralyzing Cask. Again, once that's out, you can't cast anything. You can't commit to a fight. Let's say Chronosphere is right there. He will not do any damage in the Chronosphere because the Cask still bounces. So they find the smoke just in time. But that's not even like the big deal there. The big deal is that the Chronosphere was used for nothing. So that's 100 seconds where DC now have this gigantic opening, kind of given to them for free. And so appropriately, that happens right after I said that they need to work pretty hard to find these openings. They just get given one right off the bat. They'll shove in this top wave, Flea leading the way. Yule Scepter, Drums, 415 without any of this extra movement speed being procced. And this tower. Lightning Hammer now up on Sniper. He's doing some real damage at this point. 150 a pop. Attack speed, how fast is he attacking? Well, we'll see. Maybe as he goes towards the bottom lane. PPD is way behind enemy lines right now. He is dead. There you go. They're still camping out top lane. Ooh, the hook shots. Slightly off there from AUI, but Zai was moving really erratically. Can't really blame him for that one. Ryle's gonna get that Dragonlance. He's seriously ramping up here. So far, I mean, CCNC does have the Hurricane Pike very close to completion here, but for all this Shadow Fiend, just there haven't really been many fights where OpTic are including this SF. Hell, there haven't been many fights, period, for OpTic to actually get the jump in. So every single time you try, you're gonna have to run into this Omni Knight, and this hookshot interference is a lot of shit to run through as an SF to start combo casting people down for your raises.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
AUI has been playing pretty darn well so far. Only with a 2k lead though, DC have double Yules up. And they know that the Chronosphere is going to be up soon. They're going to take a beat. Maybe get this extra mobility item on Bryle before they make any sort of additional aggressive play. Maybe even wait for a pipe. That might be a little bit long. By the way, guys, there's a Venomancer in this game. He's pretty much just been a Plague Ward machine, and that's it. And this is what I was talking about with the Venomancer. Like, sometimes you do well, sometimes you do nothing. This seems like a do-nothing game. Ritsu, though, in a little bit of trouble here, is going to have the Eye of the Storm put up. The ultimate from the Shadow Fiend, not going to do all that much, but with the Earth Splitter and just being completely surrounded. Razor's still alive for a little while longer now. Actually kills off PPD with the Eye of the Storm. I don't think I've ever seen Eye of the Storm solo kill someone like that. Like, it was not anything but that Eye of the Storm, and it gets the kill. I mean, he was dead anyway, and now Stan King's going to get stomped to the ground, though he does have a sniper to cover him a little bit. 33 really cautious in the approach. Flees here as well. And OpTic do end up taking down the tower, which is, along with that Razor kill, quite a nice pickup. Razor is struggling right now. I mean, this is definitely not an independent Razor build. This is a build that requires him to be fighting along as his allies. So if he gets isolated like that, then there's really not much to do. Now Flea's going to push the high ground. Obs is out, so they saw exactly what the Venomancer was doing. They see him retreat as well. And there's no wraparound here, but Flea is actually going to catch him with the Eul Scepter. Hookshot in as well, and AUI, he's caged himself a little Banana Snake. That's an easy kill. Poison Nova does go off. It'll do... Is it literally doing no damage versus the Omniite? One Purification is going to heal that all back, so... There you go. There's your Venomancer core for all you guys. He didn't get the Veil of Discord off beforehand. It's only level 1 Nova, but still, it's rather underwhelming for an ultimate. It's only level 1 20 minutes in, though. So again, to be fair, it will get a lot stronger in a couple minutes. Rip. PPD, 10 seconds off. One raise, one hit, easy kill. Fortunately for them, that was not a Razor. That was just a Witch Doctor. Highcat and Bryle farming side by side. Oh, he's got a Shadow Blade with that Mask of Madness now. Fighting into this Faceless Void draft is so difficult. Even though the Chronospheres have been used extremely defensively so far, it's still like a matter of time before an amazing one hits. There's not much you can do about that except for hope that your Omniite is outside of it. Offer some Guardian Angel support. Bryle's kind of being chased out by some poison here, but AUI showing himself off with that flare is going to scare OpTic from going for more. You have Ritsu on the top lane, killing off that tower. Should be an even tower trade at the end. This is such an even game. It's just going to take that one fight. Like, one fight where this Chronosphere is used is going to make or break this game for OpTic. If it's a good Chronosphere, they probably work with like a 3k lead at least for the rest of the game. If it fails for whatever reason, then... yeah, then all of a sudden DC just have overwhelming map control. They can bully OpTic and do whatever they want, really, until another Chronosphere is up. That's why everyone's playing super cautiously right now. 33. Actually doing pretty well. Not like as a Venomancer, but as a space-creating vision hero. Like, he's able to very aggressively get farm and really not put himself at any risk. That's going to force DC to, you know, wander into wards from time to time. Oh my god. Please. Yeah, so it's like, you can't farm these camps as DC, because they're gone, obviously. Oh, I also should probably put the correct overlay up. My apologies, admins of GESC. But more importantly is that they can't move through this area without being spotted. So they have to smoke up if they're going to do that. I don't know what the smokes are looking like right now. They have one on their hero. I don't know if there's more. There's no way for me to find out, actually. I'm pretty sure there's literally no way for me to find out. They will smoke right through, though. Do OpTic smell it? Smoke has that definitive smell. Flare, a little bit off. Plabs Field, a little bit off. Whoo, some fortunate play there from the Venomancer. They will see a target over in mid in CC&C, however. And the smoke is still live for another quarter of its duration. And they will run straight into him. Blink forward. Oh, Flea. Trying to get him with that Eul Scepter. Can't quite find it. They will run into the Venomancer, though. 4 staffs out. The creeps are going to provide some paralyzing, cast bouncing opportunities. And gets purified to death. Hell goes off on the Stand King. Means no poison damage from the Nova. Over in the meantime, PPD is going to give over a lot of damage to this Razor. AUI now giving chase. PPD has no TP, so he's just trying to waste some time here. And it looks like a couple more hits. Okay, one more hit. We'll get the kill. That's an easy 2 kill for the DC side. Not really on the most relevant heroes, but it should be enough to get them a chance into this Roshan pit. This is really, really risky, though. They're going up against an Elder Titan, Shadow Fiend, and Faceless Void as the 3 remaining heroes. And they will just march that Spirit in from ET. You know, if that stomps, make everyone panic a little bit. Fortunately for them, Faceless Void is really, really far away. You can still teleport to the shrine, but it looks like it's a little bit too late. OpTic are not going to take that risk. DC are going to get a free pass in this one. That's a Roshan claimed double life for Bryle. Even though they do have this Aegis, still they should be really, really scared about just making aggressive, straight push plays into towers because of that Chronosphere and because of the defensive power of ET and Venomancer. What level's the Aura? Level 3 at this point. That's a lot of extra damage for the Venomancer. Drop that magic resistance to 0. Pop that Veil on someone. You have 2 heroes with hoods at this point, and Repel. So it's not going to be like something that you just can't answer. It's still going to be really powerful though. Clockwork gets Chronosphered for pretty much nothing. Flea comes in hot, and now they're going to charge forward. Hookshot juked out by CCNC, but still Flea is charging forward. He doesn't have any true sight, however. CCNC will get away to safety. But again, that is completely okay with DC. If they got the kill, they would have been ecstatic, but they tank the Chronosphere. And now it's 100 seconds where Void just isn't really a threatening hero. And at this point, they have the Aegis still, so now's the time to make something happen for DC. Tier 2 towers still stand in the bottom 2 lanes. Although Ritsu might get jumped here. Bryle's going to show himself off. Does have that double life, and Ritsu, he's going to find 33. Force Staff is available for the Venomancer. Will get up onto the high ground and TP out. Ritsu looking for him with the Yules. Got him. And now the Venomancer with no Force Staff is pretty screwed, I want to say. He's got no backup. Let's watch what's happening over here instead. The Omni Knight dashing forward, trying to catch up to PPD. Venomancer was taken out. And it looks like just another defensive tool off the table here for OpTic. Great thing about Sniper is that he's got such long range. The ET, if you're going to stomp someone, it's going to be a creep wave, but not the Sniper. If you do set up for the Sniper, he just moves over to the side, and his allies who are closer to the creep wave keep hitting the tower. So there's no way to immediately save this. Oh, there's no true sight here still. Shadow Blade's so powerful. And 33 buys back, wow. I mean, the tower is already down. DC still have this Aegis for quite a long time. Their bottom lane, though, is not in a good spot to push off of. If they get into a fight, they could still do decently in these engagements, but there's not really an easy push angle here for DC. There's a Maelstrom, however, up on the Sniper. Playing his best Thor game. It's actually a pretty nice item to have kind of defensively as well. As long as you're not caught in that Chronosphere, you put the static charge on anyone who's in the Chronosphere, then the Faceless Void takes a lot of damage trying to hit them. Oh, Zai, you do not want to be there, my friend. He has a Force Staff, he has a TP out. Damage-wise, oh, he's going to die to the Yule Scepter. Dude, you don't get to see that all that often. It does like 50 damage, right? 50 damage, 50 magic upon landing. Sand King got to wrap around the CCNC with a hook shot in. He's maledicted. And, well, there's still going to be a Force Staff out. Maledict with the Vessel is a decent amount of damage, and it looks like he's just dead. He has no BKB. Boom, he's down. 3x spree being ended by Sand King. Pycat's going to teleport into this bottom lane where Bryle and Ritsu are still just camping out. 33 in the corner is going to try to teleport out, but the Yule Scepter again from Ritsu, canceling that TP, isolating the Venomancer, killing him off. And they are just starting to snowball crazy out of control. This is a DD on the Sniper. That certainly doesn't hurt. Flea's going to push the high ground now. And this is looking really bad all of a sudden for OpTic. Their team fight, as powerful as it is in theory, has never once landed properly, and now the tower is down. Stomps out from the ET, will only land onto the Witch Doctor. Big who cares, as the melee rack's now going to take some serious chip damage from the Sniper at range. And Ritsu, Flea, like the Chronosphere is available here, and there is like a pretty good Chronosphere to be had in theory, but you don't have any follow-up to that. There's just simply not enough damage because your Shadow Fiend is dead. That's an easy Rax, and now they're looking for a little bit more. Bryle camping inside the base, not with that much Aegis time left, so he's got to be a little bit careful here. But Flea still has a Blink Dagger and a Guardian Angel, so it's very easy to save a sniper. As long as they are both on opposite sides of the fight, there's a very, very low chance that the sniper gets caught with the Chronosphere without Omni help, unless he's going to get caught with this 4-man Chronosphere from Pycat. Does kill off Flea instantly. The Earthsplitter is going to come in as well with a grip onto the Razor. Pycat is just going to work, and the sniper's not doing nearly enough damage. What a Chronosphere from Pycat, as now they chase forward, looking for AUY. A couple Razors from CCNC, does fall short as Clockwork's going to Spider-Man out of there. Now that is the Chronosphere that they were looking for. The problem is that it was happening on the retreat. So yeah, they get a ton of gold, but the damage has been done over in the mid lane. They get 3 heroes down, and they're going to try to push for maybe a tier 2 of their own. But in 50 seconds, the Razor will be back, and the Faceless Void, I mean, those Chronospheres, they just needed to come a little bit earlier. The timing just not working out well here for OpTic. Bryle is going to get caught by the Stomp. A little bit too far to go in, I think. Tower will be forfeit.
Radiant's middle tower has
Assassinate, bam. Don't get me wrong, OpTic absolutely needed to have that Chronosphere. And what a Chronosphere it was. But DC for the next Chronosphere,
time is money.
You can only expect so many 4-man Chronospheres, right? Like, that's probably the one and only they're going to get. Like, realistically, it's just not going to happen. Pipe and Crimson Guard means that Clockwork and Omni Knight playing on opposite sides of that Chronosphere can help out no matter what. Glimmer Cape, another great tool. Doesn't do anything like invisibility-wise, just gives you that extra magic resistance boost. Hell, even Razor. He's got a Yule Scepter. He has Aghanim Scepter. 2300 HP on the Razor with the ability to push towers now with the Eye of the Storm is nothing to sneeze at. They're going to set up for a top lane push now. Aegis has been reclaimed, but at this point, Sniper, as long as he is playing very, very defensively, and as long as they have True Sight to soft counter the Shadow Blade from the Faceless Void, DC are still working with a lot of momentum despite that botched fight.
Incoming!
Nah, that's not even fair. It's not even a botched fight. It was a really, really good execution from OpTic. I don't want to take away credit from OpTic because they definitely earned that engagement.
Dire's top shrine is under
Scan goes
attack.
off. Does go red and does stay red for the Dire. AUY up on the high ground. 33 is revealed. Flea as well, but he has a Blink Dagger. Gets caught with the Chronosphere and immediately brought down. AUY's going to hookshot in. I'm not really sure about that one. Puts up some cogs, but that's not actually doing all that much. And up on the high ground, Bryle, Ritsu, they're all going to get hit with that Nova, but 33 is getting torn apart. 33 dashing after Bryle is going to take the Sniper down. Ritsu's doing a lot of damage, though. Only stolen plus 70, but the Eye of the Storm is just going off. They have isolated Flea, and now Ritsu's going to charge in Eye of the Storm again, just shredding everybody. Does get a double. Yule Scepter dodge that Death Requiem damage, but does get taken down by Pycat afterwards. And just like that, OpTic have tied up the gold lead. Picking off that Omni Knight. Man, he just absolutely crumbled. This Faceless Void is dishing some serious, serious damage. And that Sniper, even though he's up on the high ground in what looked like a close to perfect position, the Venomancer kind of suiciding to get good positioning there. Ends up getting them a full wipe. And again, lead now down to 0. Still, there is a bottom rack situation to worry about. PPD is just chilling right now. The buildings are starting to be destroyed here. These buffer buildings are actually pretty important, because they could be back there defending right now. And 33 will be doing just that. Alchemist, created by Zai. You know what, Zai? I'm okay with that. I am okay with that. Bottom lane is in full breach, but DC kind of stumbling into that fight one at a time. Less than ideal, to say the least. Definitely this Omni Knight. Working with a lot of positional-based items. Yule Scepter, Ether Lens, Blink Dagger. Not really all that overtly tanky. A plate mail item, something like a Lotus, can definitely do a lot for him. Or Shiva's Guard build-up. Really anything with the plate mail in it. Or hell, even a chain mail. Like, I don't know, blade mail is like not terrible here. Get a freaking medallion. Like, you don't need all that much. You just need some sort of physical resistance up against OpTic. Because they're working, again, with this Natural Order aura. So 16 armor on the Razor is actually 0 armor. Does anyone have any armor items? I mean, there's the +7 on the Clockwork because he has that Crimson. But other than that, like, no, they're not working with any armor whatsoever. Plus Presence of the Dark Lord. So that's even less armor. Pushing forward now. DC under smoke. Plasma Field was spotted, though. And they also do see the shrapnel. It's very obvious. They'll go into the Roche. This is so risky for DC. Oh, this is so risky. They're going to go for it anyway. AUI playing interference. Looking to just grab onto anyone who shows their face. Down to half HP. This is going a little bit too slowly. We can see OpTic starting to get into position for an approach in. PPD on the high ground is going to see Stanking grip from the high ground. Witch Doctor needs some help immediately. Dual Scepter will cancel that. As Ritsu's now going to try to isolate PPD. Gets put to sleep, however, and well, they will be able to get on top of the Bane and kill him off. PPD down, but immediately does have the buyback. Towards the top side of the fight, AUI still just waiting for the hook shot. Jumps in onto random neutrals. Didn't quite land it properly on PPD, and now has to back off. That was actually really good for DC. That could have been so disastrous for them, but they still have to stick around. There's no Force Staff on the Clockwork. Of course, there's no hook shot either. They're going to go right into the Roche Pit. Shrapnel going to give them some nice vision, but this Razor gets interrupted on the approach. Here comes Pycat. Chronosphere only onto 1. This time with the auras, trying to give the Razor a little bit of assistance. GA is up, and Pycat's Chronosphere doesn't quite do enough, but they have Con to Brile. Pycat's taking a lot of damage, but will time lock all of that back. And without that Sniper, it'll be DC on the back foot. The Sniper is going to return to the fight, find 33. With the Force Staff forward, they should be able to take down the Venomancer. And it looks like with the Assassinate, yeah, he will go down. Who else have they found? It's going to be PPD being chased down by Flea over in the Roche Pit. They're going to try to consolidate and kill him off while OpTic try desperately to get into the Shrine. Buybacks used on both sides. Brile absolutely needs an Aegis right now. They also need to not lose AUI. Nightmare goes off on him. Flea can only do so much to give him assistance at this point. As Pycat's going to jump right into the Roche Pit. They've isolated CCNC. That's so bad for OpTic if he goes down. Pycat as well is able to grab the Aegis. Cheese is grabbed by someone. It's actually on the Sniper. And they will take that fight decently well, but the Stomp lands onto 3. Ritsu's got the repel on him. He's going to push the front lines, but he's just by himself at this stage. He will be taken down as Brile now having a chance to actually get some right clicks. I was going to try to go for Zai. Does take the kill, but does lose his life for it before he get the cheese off. Flea's going to blink away off that Yule Scepter, still being chased down by CCNC. He's very swift, but the face is void. He is persistent as well. Mask of Madness charging forward. So they're just going to guess the wrong way, it looks like. These 4 heroes on DC, only one of them has buyback. And Omni Knight, he is going to be able to TP back, but what can he really do? He'll cut the creep wave instead, but there's enough of a creep wave to get mid-racks. Maybe it's time to go up towards top. There is a double siege wave here. Buybacks have been expent, and it looks like OpTic are looking to take a Rax advantage. If they are able to handle that Sniper twice, really tough fighting in that Roche Pit, inside the Roche Pit as the Sniper. That's Stomp, man. Zai has been living for so long in these fights. Natural Order has been amplifying so much damage. And of course landing Stomp after Stomp after Stomp. That Stomp like over here, where the Razor's over here taking on 2 heroes and everyone else is sleeping. Like that is just ET in a nutshell right there. You absolutely need to fight these Roshan engagements as a full 5-man squad. If you get separated at all, you're in a really bad spot. And that is exactly what happens. All of a sudden OpTic with a 6k lead. Are looking to make a really nice comeback into this game. I don't think this graph quite looks as impressive as what this game is actually playing out as. I mean, late game Faceless Void is certainly a real hero. At this point, has a freaking butterfly. And Sniper, he needs good positioning in these fights. But he just can't quite find the right spot in these engagements. Even Eye of Scotty as his next item, it's going to help him quite a bit, but it's not an item you pick up. It's like, alright, my positioning problems are solved. No, if you have a Faceless Void on top of you, you're still just dead. Especially since with that butterfly evasion, like, there's not much you can do as a Sniper. They don't have any accuracy items, I believe. No, they don't. They're going for one. It's not quite good enough. A heart on the Razor will help out a lot. It does seem like they're kind of neglecting their armor, though. Natural Order is destroying them. CCNC. Got this Silver Edge upgrade. He's looking at a butterfly of his own and will get spotted by Stanking. Random Witch Doctor. I wonder where the DC heroes are. It's a real mystery. But DC do have the high ground. Anakin It's over. PPD looking to approach. He does have one obs. Gonna place it. There is no regular vision here for the Radiant, so they don't see this observer going down. They will back off. Take the shrine. Try to consolidate a little bit. If they get picked off, if any one hero gets caught out of position, that could be a very quick GG for OpTic. Alternatively, DC, they're just pushing forward this top lane. No from OpTic coming back to defend just yet, so this is going to be waving a little bit. Not a lot, but just a little bit of pressure up towards the top lane.
Top tower is under attack.
This is such a delicate engagement. They know that there's a sentry or something here. They know that there's some vision here. They should know at least. PPD's the one working with the gem. He's going to jump forward, grab the Razor with the Nightmare, and to the side. Oh, it's a Chronosphere. They've caught themselves an Omni Knight. They've caught themselves a Witch Doctor. And now it's full retreat for DC. OpTic. Oh, the grip range. What is that range? Hookshot's going to come and interrupt it. That might get Ritsu out of here, but AUI's in a lot of trouble here because Pycat's hot on his tail. With a couple of bashes, AUI, yeah, is not going to get that TP out. He's going to go down. What the hell was that cast range, though? That seemed pretty disgusting. Yeah, it's still going to be 3 heroes down with buyback, though, so DC aren't going to lose the game right away. They have one more fight in them. OpTic have a tier 2 top lane to go through. So they're just going to say, screw all that jazz, we're going to go straight in. This is going to be a really nice spot for a sniper to fight in, when he can very easily duck in and out of the fight into safety of the fountain. Ritsu's pushing forward very far. He's going to have to lift himself up as the cask does come out. CCNC pops the BKB. He's going to start charging forward. He does have a butterfly himself. His Nightmare is going to stall up a couple of them. Ritsu's still pushing the front lines. PPD tagged with the Eye of Scotty slow and will be able to take down the Bane. He's dead without buyback for 70. Chasing forward for more. At least Flea doesn't have to use his buyback for DC, so though that was extremely costly as a defense, that's why we see Ritsu pushing forward so aggressively looking for more. Plasma Field, Yule Scepter, you got him. How much damage does he actually have, though? Hookshot is not really quite going to do it, and with the Shadow Fiend showing up, Razor can't quite seal the deal there. OpTic forced out 2 buybacks. Definitely not bad. This is still a very delicate game, even though OpTic are in a really good spot. If Sniper gets into a good position in an engagement, any one engagement, that can definitely be a team fight win for DC. Quick buyback check. There are 2 buybacks in this game. A lot should be coming up in just a couple minutes, though. Pycat's gonna go for a Daedalus. There is no True Sight here. No True Sight. Oh, there is True Sight. Why does the Sniper have a gem? Anyone explain that to me? What the hell is going on? Someone else. Oh, there's also a gem on the Clockwork. Probably not worth having that gem on the Sniper. The gem AoE range is lower than the Sniper's attack range. So you could definitely see people who are very close to you, but you don't want to see people who are very close to you. You want to be as far away from those guys as possible. This game is still extremely, extremely thin for both sides. The 6k lead, 43 minutes in the game is not anything relevant. All these butterflies are definitely a problem. Razor is going to get a big item in the AC next. But it's going to take him quite a long time to actually complete that. He definitely needs some sort of accuracy. An MKB for Bryle will be huge, but he has to get the Blink Dagger first. He'll have a free slot with that gem and cheese, both as kind of swappable items. They do pick up a rather nice item in that Omni Knight's GA. Omni Knight Aghanim Scepter, rather. Giving GA that global range. So Flea can now play very, very far in the back. We can see immediately. Taking to the back corner, knowing that if anyone gets jumped, he can just jam that button, and there's a very low chance of him not being able to get that off in these engagements. I don't know, guys. This is so scary for both teams. Roshan could be up in 30. That, I believe, is Roche 3. No, it has to be Roche 3 because there's a cheese on the Sniper. Refresher Shard on Pycat. I probably would say gets the Chronosphere AoE. I feel like most of the time Faceless Voids get that. He's at level 25 right now. He's able to get Refresh Shard. That is just a gigantic zone of just dead space where you can't do anything. You actually can't do anything. His Time Walk talent is also up, so his effective initiation range is absolutely disgusting. He does take that talent, so this is his Time Walk range, and then Chronosphere range is this on top of that with about like this circle even further. Oh, and the Razor is going to get caught. The hook shot's going to interrupt. Once again, AUI coming in like a hero. They've isolated the Bane, but also the Sniper's in a little bit of trouble here. The GA does come in, but here's the gigantic Chronosphere. Pycat is going to be able to get right on top of the Sniper and just lay into him with the Earth Splitter. It'll take him down. Death Ward channeled by Stan King. Still, he's invulnerable thanks to that GA, but he will eventually go down here. Sniper is back. Looking for Pycat, looking for 33. Can't quite get the kill, though with the assassination shot, will get one. Pushing himself forward now onto CCNC. Flea is here, and it will be Ritsu. Charging the front lines, ultimately killing off Zai. CCNC pushes back Ritsu with that Hurricane, and will try to get some distance. Pycat gonna show up out of Invis, and Ritsu's taking 2 raises. Still sticking to CCNC now, chasing the mine for Pycat, but he is gonna get picked off nonetheless. Assassination with the Dust does kill off the Shadow Fiend, as Bryle grabs a triple kill after the fact. That is gonna be a Sniper buying back for that. Is gonna go straight into Roche, but Pycat's still alive. Bryle, as powerful as he is, cannot take a Faceless Void in that engagement, especially when this is happening. 2 siege creeps in base. Someone should probably be dealing with this. Oh, Flea is stuck. Not the time to be stuck, Flea. Not the time to be stuck. Sniper is doing his best. There is a Faceless Void, invisible Faceless Void right around the corner, and Sniper no longer has that gem because he died. Pycat, oh, he's gonna find Bryle, immediately get started. Purification's gonna get him some extra health. That crit, though, that's like a 900 damage crit. Chunking the Sniper down to half HP. Now OpTic returning with quite a few heroes. They're still sticking around for this one. Oh, this is so risky. This is so risky, Bryle. You gotta get out of there, my friend. He's now hexed up. He can't get out of here. He's gonna get with the Repel, and it looks like with the cast bouncing between Pycat and Roche, they will get Bryle out of there. Still, he's taking a lot of poison damage, and ultimately hookshot in. Pycat will grab the Aegis. Cheese is on the deck. Refresh Shard stolen by the Omnia, but he can't quite use it because of the Chronosphere. Pycat taking a lot of damage. They need to take him down once so they can get the GA off, but they can't even do that. He is going to go down, but he'll trade his life for the Sniper, who's down for good. This game is looking like it's pretty over because Pycat's going to jump right back in, grab a double, looking for 3, and Razor has had enough. The Raffle is called from 33. The Rage Quit from the Razor. Whew. Faceless Void, ET, Defense of the High Ground. They come back from a massive disadvantage and take the game. DC falls short. There's not even anything that you could point at and just be like, yeah, that's what screwed over DC right there. Maybe it was that one Chronosphere that Pycat landed, where they caught 4 and they were able to get a couple of kills. Definitely that didn't hurt. It seemed like Bryle's damage output, though, wasn't quite up to the point where they needed it to be, at least compared to Pycat and CCNC's damage output. Ritsu was doing a lot, but Razor can only focus 1 hero at a time, and you don't really have much control in that either because of the Eye of the Storm effect. That's going to be OpTic claiming a very narrow win here in Game 2, pushing us to a Game 3. Guys, GESC will continue in just a little bit. Thank you so much for tuning in. I'm Mike Loris, and I'll be right back for the 3rd game between DC and OpTic.